All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's Breakout Watchlist from February 16th to February 19th. Typically put these out on Sunday, but with the shortened trading week, no trading today on Monday, I figured I'd put this out today. So, what are the stocks that we're going to be talking about today? All have breakout potential this week. They're all the strongest stocks, getting stronger. They're above their 200-day simple moving average, which itself is in an uptrend. They're at least 150% off their 52-week lows, and we're not just buying extended stocks. All of these have pulled back and tightened up, ready for another move. So last week we caught a couple big winners: Riot for 111%, MARA 71%, UAVS 28%, GEVO 27%, and that's just within last week's trading. And as always, vote on your favorite on my Twitter account after the video. If you're coming here for a specific stock, I'll put the timestamps of each of the stock setups in the comments below. So you can just click on that, go exactly to the stocks that you're looking for. If you enjoy this content, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. So quick example of that voting. Each week, whatever I make on TikTok, throw into a different trading account and let you guys invest it based on how you vote on my Twitter account. So these are going to be the four options this week: AMTX, FUBO, LAC, and PLL. So when we're going through that, make sure you're taking some notes, and after the video, go vote for your favorite. Quick disclaimer, nothing that I say is financial or trading advice. This is all for educational purposes only. Trading comes with financial risk. Please do your own due diligence before trading. Here's the list that we got. Just pointing out the stars are the stocks that you guys can pick from in that for voting. So we got 15 stocks for you today. And then I did want to put this what else on there because I'm putting this list of 15 stocks together. If you see a stock setting up that I don't have on this list, but you think it has breakout potential, leave those in the comments because I want to be as prepared as you guys coming into the new week. All right, let's jump to the charts. We got ABML to start with. So kind of breaking one of my rules, I will only be trading stocks over $5, but I know not everyone does that. So this is a quality setup under $5 that is really the type of setup that I look for stocks. The last breakout was 617%, so tons of action breaking out through here. Good volume on the way out. Pulled back on less volume, pulled back only to the 8-day. This was a really drastic pullback, almost 50%. But when you get extended out 600%, 50% pullback just to the 8-day, caught some buyers there. And since that kind of bounce, it's really been tightening up here. But I wanted to point out one thing that I always look for, and it's a extra check on my watch list, is do we undercut the kind of pullback low? So not this low. This is good that we bounced off that, found some buyers there. But then we pulled back. The low is 360 here on February 4th. Come back in, hit 360 again on February 10th, and then undercut that on the 11th with a low of 350. So anyone who had their stop around 360, 355, they got stopped out. The weaker hands are out. And then since then, we had Thursday, or sorry, that was Thursday. On Friday, we had an inside day on much lower volume. So looking to take the trade if it breaks over $4, which is the high from Thursday right through here, or you could wait for 420, which would be the high point through here. So again, 600% move up, 50% move back on lower volume than the volume on the way out. This stock is under $5, so I don't think I'll be trading it myself, but not everyone has those rules, and this is a quality setup in that on the cheaper side. Next, we have AMTX, and I think I talked about this on Wednesday's watch list as well, but zooming out, all the really high volume bars are on up days, so lots of accumulation, not as much selling, which is always good to see. And then on the 25th here, we had that really strong breakout on heavy volume. This was 180% move or so. Since then, we pulled back to the 8-day on extremely light volume, bounced on a heavier volume day. Again, you want to see more buyers coming in than sellers going out. and then just a nice downward drift back to the 8-day. If I hide the big spike, all the increased volume days are now on the buying side. So we had the 10th, the 29th, no, the 1st, sorry. And then even on Friday, we undercut the low from Thursday, and we closed right at the high of the day. So what I'm looking for in this is a break over 788, which would have been the high from Wednesday as a possible buy point. Very little volume on the pullback as this flags out the 20-day rushes. Ideally, we get some sideways action, so this 20-day at least gets tested and see if a buyer comes in there. It's AMTX and one that you guys can vote on. Next, we have ATLC. Zooming out, you got the 200-day, the 50-day, the 20-day, the 8-day, all in the right order. So all different durations of traders are bullish on this. And this is just a basic cup and handle. So you have your cup. Didn't mean to draw that. You got your cup, got your handle. In a perfect world, this would get tighter, not kind of like wider in these couple of days. So instead of kind of megaphoning out here, it would be tightening up. So one strike against the entry, but what I'm looking for is if we open lower and then take out the high from Friday, 28.28 as a possible buy point. That's a lower cheat in the handle. Otherwise, you could just wait till a break over the all-time high, 30.10 here. That's ATLC. Next, we have CLF. Zooming out again, 200-day, 50, 20, and the 8. The 8 just flipped over the 20-day recently, but really strong action through here. Then we had a pullback. I think this was about 25%, 22%. So only a 22% pullback from the highs. Did start extending here. Got pulled back on heavy volume day. It doesn't show that was earnings, but I think it was. But right after that, we rallied back up. So this was only a pullback of 10%, and things got nice and tight on Friday. We pulled back to the 20-day, rallied back above the 8-day exponential. So a couple things to point out here. One thing that I talk about is a confluence of indicators, where if you can line up both the diagonal resistance and a flat top resistance point, you have two different systems looking at that exact buy point, and that's what we're getting here. This is showing what would be Tuesday's candle already, but if we come out on Tuesday's candle, you see that we intersect both the high from Thursday's high, 1698, which would be a buy point, a pivot buy point, with the diagonal coming through just by marking off the highs through here. So two different systems. Buy points are exactly the same price. So a break over $16.98 or $17 is my buy point for CLF. Next we have CSIQ. This is Canadian Solar. Had a really strong move through here, pulled back to the 20-day, undercut that, rallied back up, and then really got light volume during this pullback here. And we have basically a 2-day pivot. So I would be looking for a break over 61.91 as a possible buy point. Again, this is a really strong uptrend, pretty consistent too. 200-day, 50, 28. And one thing that I forgot to mention here, the average true range ATR is really tightening up. And all that measures is the kind of like the length of the daily bars is getting smaller and smaller as people stop disagreeing on the price, really. So when you get that ATR coming in and the disagreement kind of disappearing, once a big buyer steps in, you're going to shoot it up with the price pretty quickly because no one's been disagreeing on price. It's been nice and relaxed, and then a big buyer steps in. The opposite's true as well. Maybe people have stopped disagreeing, and then a big seller comes in, and that's going to really pull down the price. And that's why I'm only buying these stocks on the way out. I'm not just randomly buying during a pullback because I have no idea how long it's going to be pulling back for. So always buying on the way out, always using a stop loss in case it's just a head fake before moving lower. But this is one to watch, CSIQ. Next we have FUBO, and this is one that you guys can vote on. I mean, this action was kind of ridiculous, but I mean, you could have traded that 130% up, and then a 60% pullback. I think this was a little bit dangerous. 62% pullback on heavy volume, but it's good to see that a big buyer stepped in here right at the 50-day, shot it back up, and then usually once you get these 60% pullbacks, it's not just going to go straight back. It's not going to be like a V recovery. It's going to have to go through some kind of price discovery where it rallies back up here, and then people that were just randomly buying the dip, not waiting for buyers to step in, could get out for even. So you might see some selling pressure there on that kind of 2-day pause point before sell off continued. And that's right where you got the pullback here, rally back up, still hasn't tested the highs. And then people that got in over here, 71%, they're happy with that. You're going to see some profit taking. But what I really like is once it got up here and it's just gently pulled back to the 20-day, well, gently for FUBO terms, the volume has gone nowhere. Look at how flat that volume is. So this is really just kind of short-term traders, people with big profit, not institutions selling this off right here. And that's what I look for. It bounced right at the 20-day, recovered the 8-day, closed right at the high on Friday. So with this one, I'll be waiting for Thursday's high of 49.50 as a possible buy point right through here. And ideally, we get some volume on that turn because volume's been drying up, drying up, drying up. ATR has been coming in, but we need to know it's not just me and you buying this turn here. We want institutions buying as well. So that's FUBO, one that you guys can vote on. Next, we have GP, and this is one that I had been watching for a while. It's probably been on a couple watches that I put out here, but it's an IPO kind of double cup and handle. You have that cup. This, I guess, technically could be itself a handle, but and it's a high tight flag IPO. So this move 101%, and then a pullback of 20% only. So high tight flag, 90% or more in 8 weeks or less, pull back within 25% from the high. So that just shows it's a powerful name, and not many people are trying to take profits and sell off at these higher prices. You can see ATR is really, really coming in here. They did just have earnings, so I don't trade into earnings because it's basically a coin flip, and you could gap up and down over your stops. So too much risk there for me. But now that earnings are over, it did gap up, kind of sold off to the 20-day to the 8-day and bounced there, closed kind of in the middle of the price action on Friday, but with really good volume and still within the same price range that I'm looking at. So if we open on Tuesday lower than the high and then we take out the high from Friday, 32.50, that's a possible buy point. Or I'd be looking at this kind of failed breakout on the 5th. That high is 33.83. So that's GP. Next we have JKS, and I'm hesitant to put this on the list for a couple reasons, but I know some people trade these really long bases that have tightened up. Looks like they're forming the right side. When I see this, I'm concerned because the market's been extremely hot for 2 months now. Why is this taking so long to move higher? I know we had what seemed like a year of just going up consistently, 350%, but from October 20th to now, this has just been basing out with a lot of fake breakouts. So a little concerned on this. I want to be trading the strongest names getting stronger. And this could be one that, I mean, after that kind of move, you have to really disagree on the price, kind of get everyone on the same page that it's supposed to be this before a big buyer steps in and shoots it higher. But I could not ignore the ATR, the average true range, really coming in. We have a nice pivot formed on here. And this is a name with power. Once it does get buyers, it has the capability of going much higher. But you can see how tight this is. The 8, the 20, the 50, all at the same price. But looking for a break over 67, 61 as a possible buy point. And I have to see volume coming in heavier than average when it does that. Otherwise, it's probably just retail traders taking the trade, and that's not going to continually push up the price. So again, 67, 61 possible buy point JKS. About halfway through, so if you guys are enjoying the video, please leave a like and make sure you're commenting on any video on any stocks that I haven't mentioned that have breakout potential this week. All right, LAC. This is one that I got stopped out of last week on this bar at my entry. I had put the trade on in this lower pivot point right through here on the breakout. You could see this wick went under, stopped me out there after taking some profit. But just because I got stopped out for even, I haven't lost any money on the trade. I don't have any bad feelings towards this stock. Well, I never have any bad feelings towards the stock because you're trying to take out the emotion. But another really powerful name, 250.28. This is kind of doing the same confluence of indicators that, which one was it? CSIQ, I think, was doing, where if you just draw the high from Friday as a possible breakout point, it intersects that downward diagonal on Tuesday's candle, Tuesday or Wednesday. So either of those days, if we start lower, then take out the high from Friday, that would be my possible buy point. That's 23.30. And just kind of coming back here to do some measuring, you had a breakout of 223% and then a pullback of 35% there. So really like this candle. Lots of volume on a move up over the pivot, making the turn there. Malfunctioned a little bit just because of how crazy trading was on Wednesday morning. Everything was up a ton and then flushed and then came back a little bit. So that kind of malfunctioned there, but still a name to watch. LAC. Next we have LE. This one's getting a little wedged up, but what I like about it is on, I think this would have been Wednesday's candle, we pulled back on much lower volume, and then we really just punctured that. The 20-day, the low, we took out anyone's stops that were that moved them up after this kind of breakout, and that really clears the deck. And anyone who's holding this now has a stop under this price, which is great to see because just a little bit of price fluctuation, you're not going to get a group of people that have just gotten in the last week or so getting stopped out and causing that to pull back even further. This just cleared the deck. So after that kind of move, a 3-day pivot point. So you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's highs of 31.32, 31.34, 31.29. I'm just looking at a break over Thursday's high, just the high point in that kind of group, 31.34 as a possible buy point. Really low volume coming in, good volume on the rebound, and average true range coming in. So again, just a break over Thursday's high is my possible buy point on LE. Next we have MAXR, MAXR. This is one that really got going through here. But again, just because it starts exploding, I'm not buying at these prices because I'm never buying an extended stock. I always want it to come back, tighten up a little bit. So pulled back. Did we close that gap? Not exactly, but pretty close. Pulled back under the 20-day, rallied back up, and has now pulled back on slightly lighter volume, right back to the 20-day. And you could see the lightest volume, excuse me, the lightest volume on that last day. Maybe we need a couple more days of sideways action. If it goes much lower than this, I'll probably scratch the trade idea for now, just because we do have this volume shelf to get over. So if it keeps going down here, then we rally up to there. You're going to have people who bought in on this kind of cup or kind of handle right here, maybe get out for break even. So if it goes much further, I'll probably wait on it to prove itself. But if we can just turn on Tuesday and take out Thursday's high, 51.80, that would be a possible buy point. If it opens even lower than Friday's low and then takes out Friday's high, so kind of a bullish engulfing candle, that's an entry that I would take too, as long as we do take out the low. Again, because that clears out the stops. It's only strong hands holding there, and then it's making that turn. I'm not just buying as it pulls back under the low. I'm waiting till it comes in and buyers come in and prove themselves. MAXR. Next, we have NIO. This is one that I have a half position on still. Bought it on this lower pivot right through there. I think, not sure if I bought it on the 8th or the 9th, one of these days. And then since then, we just got a low volume pullback right to the 8-day. So this could just be a classic pullback buy where as long as we don't gap up on Tuesday and we take out the high, 61.05, that's your possible buy point. This is one that had a really strong move. I think it was like 70%. Come on. Yeah, 69%, 70%, and then just did that nice sideways down to the right drift that allows short-term traders a reason to get out. So we talk about a really long lower wick taking out all the stops. This is lulling people to sleep. Not a lot of volume during the pullback, and that's what you like to see. So I still have a half position. Might add back on if we just take the turn on Tuesday. Three more for you. We have NIU. This is just kind of a W pattern after a 93% breakout. Let's see, is that a high tight flag? Yeah, 19% back. So high tight flag, 200-day, 50-day, 28, all in the right order. This one bar is a strike against the chart. One concern to me is February 9th, pulled back, closed under the 20-day, and did so on heavier volume. Now this did come back, but typically you want to see the pullback, lighter volume, the bounce on heavier volume. And this does have a little bit lighter volume on the rally. So I'm not completely sold on this, but it is a name to watch just because 93% move. It went through this pattern. So if I keep zooming out, you'd see it rallies, bases out, breaks out, tightens up, and then another breakout. So hoping this one can just be a little bit more quicker than its previous bases, but probably not one I'm going to take with too much size. Possible buy point would be $50. $49.98 is the high from this the middle part of the W, but $50 flat would be my possible buy point. We have OEG next. This one's probably going to be one to watch in the second half of the week, just because we've pulled back here the last couple days. We did so on lighter volume after this undercut of the previous lows. So you got this move right here, took out all the stops except for like the first pullback day. That wasn't drawn perfectly. You get the point. We didn't take out this stop. That would have been perfect if we did that. But I mean, this still clears the deck of multiple days of buying. Lots of volume on the way out. Everything nice and quiet on the way in. The big volume bars are always on the green days, which is something to watch for. The 200-day hasn't come up yet to test for support, so maybe this does need a week even to trade sideways before that happens, but we're sitting right at the middle of this volume shelf. So if we could take off and break over Thursday's high of 949, that would be my possible buy point. I am not going to get into it any earlier than that unless we have a couple more days early on in this week where we get some sideways action or down action, and then I could use Friday's high as a possible buy point. But if we just take off on Tuesday, looking at Thursday's high, 949. And last but not least, and one that you can vote on, is PLL. This one I do have a half position in as well. This was a giant kind of cup handle and kind of doing its own cup and handle right here. But we had a move of 150% up, 29% back, then rallied from there, another lighter volume pullback to the 20-day, and now does look like it could be making the turn here. So you have 2 days, highs pretty close together, 58.24, 57.89. I would be waiting for Thursday's high, 58.24 as a possible buy point, or you could wait until the right side of the cup would be 61.99. So another powerful name, another one that you got the 250, 28, all in the right order. So that's going to be the breakout watch list for the week. All the stocks are strong, getting stronger. We're not trading bounces after getting sold off 80%, anything like that. Um, always looking for the strongest stocks. Make sure you go to my Twitter, vote on your favorite setup, and like the video if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe, and I got a couple people asking why they haven't gotten the notifications from these breakout watches. Make sure you hit the notification bell on the YouTube channel. Then you should get a pop-up every time that I post. Follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the Midweek Movers live stream. Take care.